All right, so we are going to have a really big patch now to Path of Exile 2, and I'm really looking forward to see what they have been cooking up here. We all know these developers are really listening to their audience here, and so I'm really excited to see what they are going to do. I just came home for 2 weeks work offshore, so this was really great news. I'm at the moment now playing in Cruelty with my mercenary, so maybe there will be some changes to the mercenary, I don't know. I've heard there's going to be some changes for the rune system. Hopefully we are able to pick the runes out from the sockets. I do think, however, it will come to a cost. I don't think anything is going to be free in this game. But so we are just going to take a little look and see what they are going to talk about here.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, we're back from our break. We've been playing the game a whole lot and we've been reading a whole lot of feedback as well. So it's time to assess and work out what we're going to do next. Now, later this week we'll be releasing POE 2 0.1.1. This is a patch designed to address the concerns that we can address relatively quickly without needing to create a new league or a new economy just yet. In this video we'll be going over some of the issues we've identified and what we're planning on doing about them. It's worth stressing that just because a specific issue isn't on this list doesn't mean that we're not aware of it or that it isn't going to get addressed. It just means that we either can't fix the problem quickly or we can't do so without the need for a new economy.
Good.
One of the major areas that needs a lot of attention is the base experience of mapping. We've made a lot of changes here. First, in-game maps have received a balance pass to the number of monsters, number of chests, number of magical rare monsters, number of essences, strongboxes, and precursor artifacts. You should generally find maps more rewarding than before. Maps generally specialize in one or more of these elements that they will be particularly rewarding in. Now, towers are a thing that's very important for players to run often, but we only had one of them. We wanted to add more variety here as soon as possible, so we've added 4 more tower maps. Alpine Ridge, Sinking Spire, Bluff, and Mesa. We've also
Man, it's pretty amazing how they are just adding more stuff. And you really notice that they are really out there reading every post, everything that we, the players, are typing on social media. They are really listening to us. I think this is really good.
also redone the existing Lost Towers map to make playing there less boring. We're now also spawning more maps with bosses. The rate was intended to be 1 in 4 maps, but in reality the rate was much lower due to some maps being unable to spawn bosses.
Okay.
We've increased the rate to compensate for this issue so that we can get the actually intended rate.
Nice.
We're also adding a new type of tablet that allows you to add bosses to your maps with its own mod pool.
Oh, that's so cool, man. That's really good. The boss battles is one of the most fun thing in this game. I think we all can agree with that the bosses here is amazing. So it's really nice to see that they are putting more bosses into the end game as well.
Strongboxes also needed some love. They now spawn monsters faster, have a less annoying fog effect, and have also received changes to the timings and effects of the mods on them. Now, let's talk about visibility of effects. Many maps had too much clutter, preventing effects on the ground from rendering, causing you to be unable to see and dodge them. We've both changed the level of clutter on some maps and changed some effects to make sure that they are always visible.
I hope that can also be a thing when you're playing in co-op. I played only 3-player co-op and we were in a boss battle. I thought that it was way too cluttered. I can't imagine playing 6 players. Maybe it would be a thing to be able to turn off some of the elements or magical particle systems that from your teammates, perhaps. Much like in Throne and Liberty, you could turn off everything, or you could just see your teammates' stuff, or you can just show everything.
In addition, elemental explosion effects have had visibility improved. Stick around for longer before they explode, and disappear without exploding if a rare monster dies. Volatile plants are also way easy to see before they explode. Now we've also increased the zoom level on the Atlas, done a pass on various terrain collision issues in many maps. We've also improved the load times of opening the world map and Atlas panel.
Good.
And we also now show the biome of a map on the hover for it. For other in-game content systems, we're focusing on getting all the rewards in line with what they should be. For delirium, we recently fixed a bug which caused delirium monsters to just not spawn after the starting part. And we've also buffed the rate of simulacrums dropping by 20% to make it more in line with the rate of finding the expedition and ritual bosses. For ritual, we've made omens now appear in the ritual tribute window 60% more often. For expedition, we've improved the rarity from the shops, but we'll be wanting to make some more substantial changes to the rewards for this league later on. Now, one of the major concerns that we're often seeing is that getting to play pinnacle content just takes too long, and that when you do finally get there, you only get one attempt and don't get a chance to learn the boss. In order to address these concerns, we're making the following changes. First, we're making the Citadel spawn closer to the center of the Atlas, and we've also added an effect so you can see them in the fog of war from further away.
Good.
This makes them much easier to find. To address the problem of only having one attempt, on the Arbiter of Ash you will now get up to 6 respawn attempts. Respawns can only be triggered by the person who put in the keys, and everyone in your party will be respawned at the same time. Leaving the map still forfeits your attempt, so you'll still need to fight the boss with the build you walked into the map with. Higher difficulties of the boss will lower the number of respawn attempts you get, but you should know the mechanics of the fight by then, right?
Cool. Very
We'll
good.
also be adding respawns to other pinnacle content as well over time. Another thing that players have noticed is that there are less keys from Faradin Citadels on the market, and thought that it was because the Citadel spawns less often. It turns out though that this is just because the boss kills players more often than the others. We've made a few changes to that boss to bring it in line with the other bosses. A lot of people have reported that many of our unique items are feeling
Very nice change with the bosses here. I've known people that have been complaining about that a lot, and I feel them. I mean, that would suck, trying to find this tower, getting one shot at the boss. Then you got to do it all over again, because as I said, you didn't know the mechanics of the boss. So this is actually a very, very positive change.
underwhelming. Uniques are often designed to be build enabling at high levels, even if they're low level uniques. But we realize that we do need to make sure that more uniques feel powerful when you first get them at low levels too.
Yeah.
In this patch, we are buffing a lot of uniques.
Nice.
These changes should make finding uniques at lower levels a lot more fun, and make subsequent character playthroughs more fun too, when you have some great uniques to use.
I thought that was also a thing that I've noticed, that some uniques just didn't feel unique. They were mediocre, some of them at least. I would also like to see some more effects on the items you can find. Maybe adding an extra grenade for the mercenary, or extra comet fireball for the sorcerer. I don't know. As I can see here, it's only buffs on the there's actually nothing physical can manifest, like a physical object or anything. But it's good that they address the problems that people have noticed on these items. Very good.
We're also changing a few other things to make finding rares better at higher levels too. First, we're changing mod weightings a bit to make sure that there are less bad mods. Another fix is making high tier items no longer cull the highest tier modifier of a given mod type. This bug caused bows and crossbows to not spawn with attack speed at tier 5 rarity, and rings to not spawn with life at tier 5 rarity. Another change we're making is to make it so that socketables such as runes can now be overwritten with another socketable.
Oh, thank God.
Now, as we continue to play,
I've heard about this change, and this is one of the best changes there is, because you don't find runes that often. And when you do have an armor, maybe you want to have a better rune in the armor. So this is a very, very positive change. I'm super, super happy about that.
we still find many balance anomalies with specific monsters or bosses that can be nasty if you encounter them. This patch contains a pass adjusting a large number of those monsters and bosses. We'll save the full list for the patch notes, but there are a significant number of changes here that should address many cases where monsters or bosses felt too hard in certain circumstances.
Okay.
Here are a few examples to get a taste of what kind of changes you can expect. The Silver Fist Commander role now does a lot less damage. Plague Bearer's Detonate Dead can no longer be used from off-screen and has better telegraphing. Forsaken Miners throw less grenades, have improved visuals, and deal less damage.
Okay.
And Lost Men Zealots can no longer meteor you from off-screen either, as well as many other changes just like those.
Oh, nice.
One of the big issues
Not that I've had any problem with those. But I'm just running through the game now with my mercenary grenade build. I'm so happy with that build.
for players on consoles is that the web-based item filter system is currently not working. This means that they can't use item filters like the PC users can. For 0.1.1, we'll be enabling the same system that POE 1 has, which allows you to subscribe to item filters on the website. For now, this will be done on the POE 1 website to allow us to get this feature out as fast as possible. Later on, we'll improve the user experience of this and put it on the Path of Exile 2 website. This patch...
I never used the filter for some reason. I never felt that I need it. I just look at the stuff on the ground and I instantly see what I want. But I guess I gotta check that out.
The patch also contains a bunch of other smaller changes and bug fixes that I'm sure you guys will appreciate. Like buffing armor and scavenged plating. Showing the number of uses left in your charms, as well as an effect when they trigger.
Nice.
The Song of the Exiles.
Fixing the music that Una was supposed to play in town.
You know, it's the small details that counts.
And plenty of other little fixes and improvements throughout the game. Now, we have a huge amount of much more meta-shifting changes that we know we want to make. And one of the best things about having the game in early access with the endgame is that we now have a much better idea of where we want character power to be and what the balance of bosses and monsters should be relative to that. But those types of changes are going to have to wait until we are ready to make a new league with a new economy for people to play in. That's still a little while away yet, but in the meantime, we'll be continuing to identify things that are causing frustration and try and address them. I want to thank you guys for playing and hope to be doing more of these in the future. Later.
Well, that was positive. First off, the major changes about the rune slots. It's one of the best, really nice. How they are, also how you can see the towers out in the fog of war, very smart move. And they also put them closer, which I think is a very, very nice thing to do. That would actually put me off as well, trying to find that tower and seeing that it's very far away. And when I finally reached there, I could only get one try on the boss. It would put me off trying to do that thing again if I had to go all the way back. So very, very nice change from the developers right there. They also had some changes for the bosses, making them easier in some cases. There are some bosses that I have been struggling with, but most of them I've actually managed to take down pretty fast. Especially now in Cruelty, when I'm running my Grenadier build with the mercenary, I really don't have any problem with any boss. Maybe I die one time, two times, but I just feel like the bosses are at a level that I really appreciate. But I don't have any problem if they're going to be a little bit easier. Game is going to have to be changed more because it will have to go through several stages where people are going to notice more stuff and they're going to just have to balance it up. The developers said that they don't want any special build to be the absolute best build. They don't want any meta build because they want every kind of build to be equally balanced so more people can enjoy the game. So really good changes from developers here. It really shows that they are listening to their audience here. They are one of the few developers that actually do listen. Huge respect to the developers in grinding gear games. They are doing an amazing job, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this game is going to turn out to be in the future. I mean, this is just an early access, and it's already such a good game. I can't imagine how good this game is going to be a couple of years from now, with each new league that is going to come out and all the minor changes. That's going to be hopefully just to the better. So what do you think about this patch? Is it something that you really thought was super, super good? Or did you see that there was something that he didn't brought up that you were hoping for to be changed in the game? We don't have any patch notes yet, so we can't really see everything. But let me know in a comment if there's something that you hope is going to be changed in the future. What else do you think they're going to have to look into? And what was the most positive thing you found in this patch that is going to come up later this next week? My personal favorite was a thing with the bosses, more bosses in the end game map, and you can actually put in this coin slot, whatever it was, to get more bosses. Also, I'm looking forward to these extra towers that you're gonna have to climb up to. The rune slots were the most positive at the moment, so that's a huge thumb up for the developers. So let me know in comment what you think, and don't forget to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe, and you will help me grow my little channel here. With that said, I wish you all a really good day.
All right.